all of our parents are getting older all the time, as are we. And my parents right now are 83 and 86. And I'm starting to think about what's going to happen pretty soon when they need some care. Well, ComForCare Senior Services, and Phill LeBlanc right here, maybe you can tell us a little bit about it. Not only am I interested for a franchise point of view, but because my parents are getting older.
Well, there's no question that senior care or home care services are a global need. In short, what we do is we provide a broad array of both personal companion care, non-medical, but also skilled nursing type care to people of all ages, but primarily the elderly, as you pointed out, whether it's light housekeeping, preparation of meals, right down to more critical care needs with hygiene and medically related. Families have been trying to do this for years, but they're not trained to provide the kind of care that we do, and so they need help. And this is where we really fill a critical need for families everywhere.
It's interesting because I notice as they've gotten older and I go there and I visit, and they're losing their memory and things are starting to happen. And I think, if they had somebody in there with them helping to do some of these little jobs that are so basic to us, right. But as you get older, you start to forget. So I'm really happy to see you guys are doing things like this.
Well, Alzheimer's and dementia-related illnesses and circumstances now are a third leading cause of death among seniors. Cancer, heart disease, but then Alzheimer's related. So these memory lapses, this transition where you're dealing with, those are very difficult times, and families struggle with that.
Yeah.
And so the option of sending somebody to a nursing home or to
which we don't want to do.
It's so expensive, and you're losing touch with your family. And those elderly seniors want to stay at home.
Yeah.
So again, we're filling a very important need, not to mention the fact the cost of quality home care is so much more affordable than some of these other options. We spend a lot of time partnering with hospitals, for example, to help discharged patients stay at home and not end up being readmitted.
Right.
And typically it comes down to that regimen, that discharge regimen that's not being followed. This is where we can fill a critical need. We can even still, though, provide care to folks who have been moved to an independent living community. So we really are a pretty broad range in terms of who we service and what we provide.
You guys now, I understand, are becoming much more international. Talk about that.
Well, we have about 200 locations in the U.S. We have a few in Canada. We have a location in the United Kingdom. We are expanding internationally through master agreements. We're working right now in Germany, the Netherlands, the Czech Republic, the United Kingdom,
wow.
And other countries. We've met with some of those countries here at the IFE, as a matter of fact, and one of the reasons why we're here. This is a global need.
Yeah.
Internationally, countries who have socially administered healthcare systems are all experiencing issues with their budgets. They're beginning to ration care. They're not reimbursing as much and for as much as they used to. And the quality of care tends to slip when those things happen. So ComForCare can come in as a complement to a socially administered system and really bridge the gap.
Phill, lately in the news has been our veterans' health care. Can you talk to that?
There's a lot of veterans, aging veterans, obviously, that fit well into our client profile, obviously, that need our care.
Yeah.
From a business ownership standpoint, there are a lot of veterans that are attracted to business ownership, and they understand processes, they understand the value of those processes and systems. And with ComForCare, what makes us unique is a superior care process. The way that we handle the recruitment and the training of caregivers, the way that we handle the delivery of care to our clients is what makes ComForCare, in our opinion, a better quality provider. Veterans understand the importance of processes. They tend to follow them really well, and that's what we like about veterans.
Very good. Let's talk about the investment.
The investment's actually very affordable. On the low end, you probably are talking about $100,000 to $150,000 or so for a single unit. That would include working capital, basic business startup, all of the training, the franchise fees, and so on and so forth. So it falls within a very affordable investment. It is a generous territory. ComForCare has larger territories than most of its competitors, so there's ample opportunity to build a business that would be doing several $1 million in revenue and provide a long-term exit strategy as well, 10, 15, 20 years down the road. It's not really bricks and mortar, but an office environment, so your real estate costs are very low, your leasing space. Our business model requires the active owner full-time plus one other full-time employee. So if you're a husband and wife team, you're set to start that way. Typically, the office would be anywhere from, say, 600-700 square feet. You'd be leasing that space, and you can adapt that space as time goes on.
So as far as the investment, it seems like it's relatively low,
Yes.
and then from there, it's whatever the particular needs of each person is.
Exactly, and generally we want the owner to spend most of their time out marketing and building relationships with the referral sources, the hospitals, the discharge planners, social workers, physical therapists, that care community. That's where we drive 90% of our business is in this direct pay market through referrals. So the owner is really out marketing the business. The other key full-time person is really that inside person dealing with the caregivers, doing the scheduling and the administration. Yeah.
Let's talk about Obamacare. Really, it seems like this plays to your business.
It does, and I'm glad you asked that, because there are a lot of misperceptions, misunderstandings about the Affordable Care Act really negatively impacting our business. It will have an impact on healthcare in general and on our business model. However, it really doesn't affect us until a business is doing 1.2, 1.3 million in revenue. The good news is ComForCare was out in front of this a couple of years ago. We've been working hand in hand with our franchise owners to develop a number of different strategies to help them deal with this. In the end, regardless of the strategy that a franchise owner might use, whether they decide to offer insurance or send their caregivers to the exchanges, the impact to the consumer will be minimal. It will literally be pennies per hour in terms of a rate increase to help our industry, deal with the Affordable Care Act. So all in all, yes, it's very important. It will have an impact, but the negativity of that impact is minimal, and we've got strategies in place to help our owners deal with it.
Let me add a positive to it, that more and more people are looking for ways to not have to deal with the government and health. This is, to me, the answer to that.
That's one of probably several very good strategies for families who have been either trying to provide care on their own and they're not trained for it, or they've looked at traditional avenues like nursing homes and other communities that could be $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 a year. 20 hours a week of quality home care for your elderly senior is $30,000 a year, give or take. So it really is a viable option.
Well, this plucks at my heartstrings because my parents are right there right now.
Oh, absolutely.
ComForCare, if you're interested, obviously you're at the right place. Phill, thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
It's Franchise Expo Live.